Hello. Okay.
Ready. Ready.
We are live. Has anyone got anything in specific they want to discuss?
So, are you going to keep running these meetings?
No.
Just the ones you feel like?
Pretty much. Anyway,
Good.
we'll cover that later on. What have we got? Has anyone had a look at the SunPy helpers pull request? Going to go with no, and it's conflicted. That's good.
So, actually, I do have a question for you, which is sort of related but unrelated in a way. So I'm using SunPy helplets for another project, and I'm trying to build it there, and the configuration, the build fails because it can't find SunPy helpers. How do I get it to build on read the docs, given that I don't? Well, I don't know. I'm just copying the same configuration as we have. But you have to tell read the docs that you need SunPy helpers or something?
Is SunPy helpers a submodule in your Git repo?
No. Aha. Yes. That's the problem.
Because when you run setup.py, SunPy helpers or AH bootstrap will initialize the submodule for you, so the code's there, so read the docs will find it.
Right now, all I have is an import statement for SunPy helpers, right?
So there are two main components to SunPy helpers. Firstly, you need the. You're just going for the Sphinx bit.
Yeah.
Is that all are you only using the Sphinx bit?
Yeah.
In that case, you could just stick SunPy helpers in your requirements file.
Ah. Okay.
If you're not going to use the setup stuff, you can just use it as a separate module. Hey, David. Can people hear David this time?
No.
No. Did he say something? Anybody hear him?
I can hear him.
No one can hear me! Really?
How is that possible?
It's like a bad M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah,
I can hear you, David.
I hear Spanish.
Does it sound right?
Jack, do you hear him?
You can hear me.
No, senor.
What the hell?
Shit.
Nope. Just you.
Really? So who can hear me?
I can hear you.
Are you sure you're just not hallucinating, Stuart?
Yeah.
Guess you're just gonna have to repeat everything he says.
Yeah, apparently. I'm going to have to be an English to English translator for David. Okay, so yeah, no, if you're just using the Sphinx stuff, SunPy helpers is a module that you can install from pip. So if you're not using any of the setup wizardry, then which you should be, but if you're not, then you can just add it to your requirements file that you tell read the docs to install.
The requirements.txt file?
Yeah.
Great.
So the SunPy requirements.txt, we have a separate one just for read the docs in the doc directory, but you can point it at any old requirements.txt file and you'll find it. Or you'll use it.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Has anyone had a chance to test this apt?
I was busy rebuilding my machine, unfortunately.
Okay, so we'll leave that. Please have a look at that. I really would like to get that merged in before, in plenty of time, basically. Okay, what else? Does anyone have a pull request that they believe is ready to go?
Yes, my 0.2 pull request.
I can't believe you're still using 0.2. Okay, someone else stamp waffles 0.2 pull request, and I'll merge it and do a 0.2 release. Because I have nothing better to do with my life. It's fine.
I don't know. So how many instances of SunPy are there in production environments? You should be proud.
Your production environment should update.
Well, that's a different matter.
Yeah, it's fine. Someone else
Thank you.
stamp it and I'll do it. It won't take me very long.
I don't even, can you put the link to that? I don't even know where it is.
It's 1183.
Hello.
Oh, you can hear him.
Really?
Oh my god. That's it? Yes,
Yeah.
sure.
That's it.
Okay, I stamped it. Let's see. How about, is 1079 ready to go? It seems like it is.
Davi, 1079. Spectra.
No.
No?
No, I make a request to. Oh, we have changed now. Okay. I made a pull request to Ashish. And they were what to do, so no.
No? Okay.
Oh, I'm opening this.
Okay.
Hold on. My computer's very slow. But I don't think so. Yes, no. The tasks that I have in this pull request are still to be done. So.
We had a work in progress.
Yeah.
What about Albert's thing, 1185?
Well, I'm fine with it, but presumably people need to actually look at it.
This fixes a couple of things you found, right, but doesn't fix the CD stuff. That's something
No.
else.
I mean, that's your other PR. Sure.
Yeah, that's my other PR.
So
we can talk about that PR first if you want. So that's 1145.
No, we'll do 1185. I mean, okay, so Travis is failing, but Travis is failing on everything at the moment. So who needs CI anyway? Yeah, I had a look over this. I haven't checked it out and played with it, but
Well, I mean, as far as I can tell, it works, and it's not like anyone's going to complain if it doesn't work. The one thing that I want to know, Stuart, if you have any objection to, since we didn't explicitly talk about this, was the fact that I changed the default map rotate transformation to a higher order. And we had talked about this before because even for 90-degree rotations, the bicubic gave kind of poor results. So this is a change that I know that you may disagree with.
yeah, I mean,
My sentiment was that if someone wants speed, they can ask for speed, but I think we should prioritize accuracy over speed.
it's true. I don't think that the fourth order is I don't know, it's hard to quantify how much better the fourth order one is apart from on a 90-degree rotation when it seems to be a lot better.
Yes, clearly better.
Too much better. Like, it's probably cheating and just rotating the array.
I don't care if it's cheating, it's still right compared to what is not right.
Yes, but my point is that if you rotate it 90 degrees and the algorithm's clever, it'll go, oh, he's asked you to rotate it 90 degrees, here, I'll just rotate the array. Whereas if you ask it to rotate it by 47 degrees, you might get some edging anyway. My point is that your test case is not necessarily representative of the actual problem.
I think Stephen tried non-90-degree rotations, right? When you were doing those differences to look at that. Stephen, did you get frozen?
No, I'm here. Why?
Okay, your video looked frozen. Okay, there it goes. When you were doing those, looking at the different types of the differences in the rotation, you were doing non-90-degree rotations. Is that right? Do you remember?
Yeah, I checked those.
How? What did you use as the correct answer?
Well, no, I think Stephen was just looking at. Were you comparing a SunPy?
Yes.
Yeah. I think
So you were in fact finding differences between two different interpolation algorithms,
Right.
and had no ground truth to compare it against.
No,
Well-
I just want to know how large the difference was between the two implementations.
By
And they were-
I don't
Really
mind.
large.
It is fine. I'm happy to change it to 4 and merge it. It's just my point is that your assertion that fourth is look, it's way better because it works beautifully on 90 degrees might be a distortion of reality.
It's true, but
That's all.
the argument that at least gives better correspondence with SunPy's transformation is not clear evidence, but it is circumstantial evidence as well.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
How much? What's the difference in time?
Humongous, about 10 times.
Yeah, but is that like 1 millisecond to 10 milliseconds?
It's like order of microseconds to milliseconds, if I remember correctly. I posted these somewhere in one of the previous arguments we had on this.
So it
I
doesn't
mean,
matter
discussions.
then, right? If it
Depends
goes,
on how many rotations you're doing, I guess, Jack.
yeah, if I'm gonna rotate like 200,000 images, then I'm gonna care about how fast each of them goes. But if I'm only gonna rotate 1 or 2, then accuracy is probably the first thing that I'm be looking for, right?
How frequent do you have to rotate the images?
Okay. Issue 1113 has timings in it.
How many instruments do we use with the images that are not already rotated properly?
All of them. Seriously, the vast majority of them.
They have to be rotated.
Well, they don't have to be, but like. Okay, so currently our plotting code assumes that they've rotated to north. But when we move over to WCS axes, sometime when AstroPy 1 is out, that assumption goes away, so it matters less whether it's rotated right from a SunPy perspective.
So I mean, at that point, we really wouldn't need to rotate, right? Unless somebody asked for it, right? Because you would just display the axes. You would always just display the detector array, and then the display rotated axes plotted over it. And then if a user said, oh, well, rotate the data array,
it's the main reason when you need to crop the main reason for rotate is if you need to crop a box in physical coordinates, you have to rotate it first. Because if you don't, you either have to regrid the image or rotate it and then crop.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
The difference in timing for a full disk AIA image is a third order takes 1.68 seconds and a fourth order takes 19.2. So it's a factor of 10 times, from 1.5 seconds to 20.
That's a lot.
Yes, it is. Because the difference is that the fourth order implementation is pure Python, and the third order is Cython inside scikit-image.
Yeah, well, I would also say that we go for correct rather than
Also,
fast.
I would like to point out, although this is a terrible argument, I wish to make it anyway, that SolarSoft uses bicubic interpolation.
Probably use it for speed, right? Is it worth putting a note in the somewhere in the code just to say we are using fourth order interpolation, because for accuracy reasons over.
It's, I don't know. I'm not convinced it's worth it, to be honest. I'm really not. But I seem to be on the losing side of this argument. So.
Honestly, I mean, at this point, what I want to just do is just do this, and then we can figure out later.
Okay, just
Can you stick a line in the docs under the order flag, which says something like, I think it might already be there.
Well, so that's another point of confusion that we have, Stuart, and this is. We have both the rotate function, which is a wrapper of sorts to the transform function. And currently, because of this change, what I changed was the default on rotate, but I left the default on transform at order of 3. Is that confusing? Or is that okay?
I don't think it matters too much, because
Okay, so
most
right
people
now,
are not going to use transform.
In transform, there is a comment in transform about what the default means, but there is no comment in map rotate. So I can add a comment in map rotate about what map rotate's default means, since there wasn't a comment anyway, and there should have been really.
Okay, yeah, and also, so at the moment we have a line under order that says higher accuracy may be obtained at the cost of performance by using higher values. You want to flip that sentence
The other
around.
way. Yep. Okay, I'll do that.
But otherwise, I will shut up and we can put that in, and I'll just write order 3 every time I run a rotate command.
That's the spirit.
I believe that 1041 is done. people wish to.
I'm sorry, can we talk about the CD matrix?
Oh, you want to talk about the CD matrix first? Yeah, that's fine. We can do that.
Because I have somewhere to be at 1, so just be on the safe side.
No problem. Let's talk CD matrix.
There is, as far as I can tell, the math in the PR is completely fine. The problem with the PR is that the test file has been resampled, but the metadata in the test file has not been changed appropriately.
Yes.
So,
I also believe that my maths is correct.
So in that context, I mean, if the test file were changed, then this PR is ready to go. What we need to do is have another issue opened, and then a PR put in to fix the CD matrix on resample.
Yes, the CD matrix on resample needs changing, and also we need to decide how/if we're going to deal with the case of only a CD matrix being provided. Which is the technically correct way of defining it in the Thompson paper, in the WCS paper 1.
Is that correct?
If you specify, according to the WCS paper, if you specify a CD matrix, you should only specify a C-delt vector to provide support for older FITS readers.
So C-delt becomes optional, or
obsolete.
So for compatibility reasons, we're saying.
Yep. But what I don't understand about this is, as far as I can tell, me and Tom had a bit of a chat about this, there is no way to calculate PCIJ and CDEL from an arbitrary CD matrix, because you have an ill-formed problem, right? You're looking for one eigenvector of a matrix without anything else, as far as I can tell.
Did you see my comment? That's why I didn't understand.
For where you've got no skew involved, it works.
Right. Okay.
You can just do the multiplication, but arbitrarily, it doesn't.
Well, yes, but well, okay. For the time being, we haven't been worried about skew. I'm not entirely convinced that our stuff works for skew anyway. I'm pretty sure it doesn't, in fact.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Yes, but although the affine transform, I can see no reason in the affine transform code why that wouldn't work. Because the mathematics is correct. It's doing an arbitrary matrix transformation. But I bet you any money if you tried it, it'd break. Math, on the other hand, it would definitely break, because the maybe it might break, probably break somewhere in the metadata. It would probably shaft itself. But the problem is that there's no way to do the transformation. So the only way to completely correctly support it is we have to have some kind of dual mode system where we can support either CD or PCIJ. We can't do my cop-out, which was always convert to 1. Unless we always convert to CD, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's the only way we could do that.
We'd have to rethink how we do some of these things. I mean, once you're a CD only, you have no notion of scale in the same sense. So we have to fix all that code.
Yep. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, the very existence of scale implies that it's not skewed in some sense.
Yeah, well, that's the point of the CD matrix, isn't it? It's entirely arbitrary.
Right. Well, I mean, to me, Stuart, this sounds like a lot of extra issues.
Sure. I mean, the arbitrary CD matrix thing is less important than supporting the CD matrix and the CDEL vector, because we actually have a use case for that, which is swap, and they're a bit upset that all our code breaks for them. So we really do need to merge that pull request as soon as possible. I promised some people it at SIPwork and still haven't fixed it. So.
Well, I mean, if you just edit that test file, that PR is fine to go.
Yes, but the point is that I can't. Well, the test file needs modifying because resample is wrong,
Well, no, but I mean, you could manually fix the CD matrix in the test file.
That is true. You fancy doing that for me?
Okay, so let's
Which text file are you talking about?
the swap test file that's included in number 1145.
Number 1145.
Okay, so Stuart,
yes.
I'll take it on. I'll manually edit the fix file and
I need to check that my tests are right as well, because I added a couple of tests. I added a CD matrix test. We need to make sure that it's actually right, but I think it is.
Okay.
And then we need to backport that. Oh, that is the backport.
Oh yeah, it is. Is there a non-backport?
I don't think so. I will forward port that.
Right.
As soon as that gets merged, I will do 0.5.2. I think that's the only outstanding 0.5.2 thing. Oh no, 1158 is also outstanding.
Yeah, the one from Helium. I don't know what the hell is going on with that test. It's like a...
Travis is foobarred.
No, but it's one of the hex events. I don't know why I found less events.
Yeah, they must have changed their flare detection algorithm and suddenly they're returning less flares than they were before.
Well, we shouldn't have hard-coded the number of events returned.
We have lots of hard-coded number of returns. Not just that one.
HEK does change the number of...
I mean, error in hex to get less flares, and then for some reason getting the 9. So.
Do you think that 1158 is done? Is it just blocking because of the Travis fail?
I do.
So the only reason we haven't merged that is the Travis fail.
Yeah. That's the 0.6 fast, so.
Yeah, I can vouch for it as well.
Okay, I'm going to merge that. I will merge its master equivalent. Sold. Okay. Yes, once that CD matrix thing is done. I will birth the 0.5 release and Jack's 0.2 release at the same time. And yes, I will make fun of you in the release announcement.
Yeah, great.
It's classic SunPy, let's put it that way.
Yes. Yep. Vintage classic SunPy release. They're just gonna randomly release old versions of SunPy every now and then. I fixed a random bug in SunPy 0.1. Okay. I think that 1041 is ready to go, unless anyone wants to object on my selection of pull request. I have a follow-up to this coming. I have a follow-up to this coming in that I'm working on a new version that makes the API even more like VSO. So you do query, and it uses JSON look data to return what results you're going to get, returns you a table object, or returns you a response object that shows you the results of that query. And then you can do client.get, which will stage the request on JSON and block until JSON's ready and then download it. Or you can split it up into 2 bits. You can stage the data and download it. It's part of the public API. But I haven't finished that yet. I'm still writing tests for it. So I'm happy. I want to merge this now, and then I will improve it hopefully by the time 0.6 comes out.
That sounds fun to me.
So what it does is adds the VSO-like attribute objects to the JSON search. So
how are you downloading the file? Are you using the SunPy download file command?
now I'm using the VSO downloader results object.
Okay.
Again, it provides an interface which is consistent with VSO. That includes the results object it returns.
Yeah.
Hi. So no one has anything to add on this? I'll go ahead and merge it. Stony silence.
Go for it.
Okay.
Let me just jump in here. I need to leave, but
Albert.
I sent a bad link earlier. Let's see. I just added the comments on 1185. Let's put that. I'll put that as a review. Let's get this reviewed and merged.
Okay, I'm good on that.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Here's out.
Bye.
Make sure the doc build completes. What else we got? How's your sample data / plotting stuff coming along?
Well, the sample data thing, I still have to work on the test data. The plotting thing, I started going through and testing out each different file each different map, and coming up with better normalizations for each one. Still more work to do on that front.
Cool. I don't think there are any other pull requests which are.
So I have a question about the differential rotation stuff.
Yes.
So has anyone tried my code in their computer? Because all the tests that I've written pass on my Linux box and on my Mac, but they don't pass on Travis. They calculate what the problem is the rotation, the differential rotation calculation on Travis gives a different number compared to the differential rotation calculation I do on my Mac and on my Linux box. There's something funny going on. Have we had this before? Stuart, I thought you mentioned once that we had this before.
Yeah, I vaguely remember something like this before.
What was that, Jack? I couldn't hear you properly.
So when Travis runs my pull request to implement differential rotation on map cubes, then the tests that I've written which pass on my Mac and on my Linux box fail on Travis. The point of failure is the calculation of the rotation. I pass in some test coordinates, and the Travis version of the Travis pull request, the Travis run of my pull request calculates different numbers from what I get on my local machines.
Do you force float 64 anywhere?
No.
What happens if you change the tests so that you pass in float 64? Do you get float 64 out? Because I have a feeling that Travis is a 32-bit box.
Ah. Okay.
Is there one of those, because sometimes we get some tests that they just fail on some kind of a rotation code actually in coordinates, and then you run it again and then it just passed. Is that related with that?
No, this piece of code, the same piece of code has failed a couple of times on Travis, so. All right, but I'll try the. So what are you suggesting, Stuart, that I force everything to a particular float?
Oh, if you pass, I don't know. So, well, I don't know because I don't know your code well enough. But if you create an array in the tests, if you force that array to be float 64, and then pass into the thing, if you get float, you should get float 64 out, right?
Yeah.
The D type shouldn't change because it's possible that it's creating a 32 float, a float 32 object on by default on Travis, maybe.
Well, that would be quite.
No, we just we cannot be just by test to check and just make a pull request to see how the values react to that thing.
It's just a guess. I really don't know. It's just a guess. I really don't know.
But why is it going to be using float 32? Is not the default for 64?
Pardon?
Isn't the default like 64 bits?
That's the default. That's the NumPy default, right? Is 64 on a 64-bit machine.
Oh, it's Python default, right? Everything is double persistent.
I don't know.
I'll experiment a little bit more with that. It's one thing to look at anyway.
Yeah, maybe try that. Or the other option is to, if you really can't get to work, just test to some precision where it is working.
Okay.
But obviously, that's not as good. Has anyone got anything else they wish to discuss?
Nope, not on my end.
I would like to bring the SEPs to people's attention once again, specifically the Leica one.
Yeah, our next meeting is the 17th, and we'll be voting on them, so gotta be ready. Yeah, so provide feedback now so they can be fixed before the meeting.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Well, thank you very much.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.